Alright, so we had this Ford Wildtrak booked in, and the purpose of the video is for you guys to understand the process of applying a coating, and so you guys get a proper coating applied. Because a coating will either work or not work, and we want to make sure you guys get one that will work. Now this car was heavily contaminated, right? It was down in the farmland, parked under a tree, driven on dirt roads. It was very contaminated. The first thing we do is we make sure to prep our tools. But before that, look at this view, man. Down in Mosman, what an area, what a beach, just good vibes all over. We get straight into cleaning our wash mitts. The reason for this is we want to make sure that we're not scratching the car. So we're going to make sure all our tools are fully cleaned and lubricated before doing any washing. The next thing we do is we get our bucket, fill it up with car shampoo, then put our wash mitts in it to make sure they're nice and lubricated once we use them. Now, in the meantime, we've made sure that our foam cannons are all full of gold class. Now this is our go-to kind of car shampoo at the moment. And then we get our iron remover and we get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to do is spray the iron remover onto the wheels. The reason we do this is because the wheels have a lot of brake dust and contaminants that are embedded within the surface, right? And you're going to see really shortly the kind of effect this chemical does. It leaves a purple liquid. Now this purple liquid is a clear indication that the iron remover is doing its job, right? And these wheels were heavily contaminated. Watch as we rinse it, all that purple liquid coming off, right? If you look at the brick pavers at the bottom, you're going to see all that purple liquid. That's us getting rid of all the brake dust and contaminants on it, right? The reason this is really important, people, is we need to make sure the wheels are fully prepped and cleaned, right? To even go further, we then get a wheel cleaner and spray it all over the wheels to make sure we get the tires, the wheels, the interiors of the wheels, as well as the wheel arches to make sure they're fully clean. Now, if we don't do this, the ceramic coating that we apply on the wheels won't stick, right? It just won't work. The reason for the ceramic coating is to first of all make sure it's very easy to clean your wheels and make sure that the brake dust doesn't build up a lot. That's why if we don't clean them properly, it just won't do that, right? So here you can see Terry then firming it up. He's going to firm all the wheels, the tires, as well as the wheel arches. Then he's going to just get straight into the contact wash. So he's going to use various tools to get into the wheel arches, get into the nuggets, and get all over the tire as well as the arches to make sure they're clean. Now guys, you need to understand, without a process, your coating will not work. Guys, a coating has to go through this process to work. There are many people who don't do this and are able to charge way cheaper prices, use low quality products, and they apply a coating that doesn't work. We don't do that, because in the coming years when your car isn't looking how it's supposed to be looking and it isn't protected, you're going to come back and blame us. We've got a reputation to hold and we want to do good jobs. That's the reason we do all this work, to make sure the coating does what it needs to do. So we have to make sure we go through this whole process. Now as you can see on that little tool, you can see all the dirt and grime coming out, right? We're going to make sure that these wheels are fully clean, right? Now, one thing you guys need to understand, a coating is like basically sticky tape, right? When you put a piece of sticky tape onto a surface that's dirty and contaminated, it will eventually peel off or it won't stick. Same thing with ceramic coatings, right? If you apply them to a contaminated panel, paint that hasn't been cleaned, it's going to eventually come off. And it's not even doing its job, right? Because it has to connect to the clear coat. The clear coat is a layer on top of your paint. If that doesn't happen, your coating isn't going to work. So that's why we cannot stress enough to make sure that you find someone that goes through a proper process and does the right things, right? That's why many people are confused how much a ceramic coating should cost, and therefore they see a price that's cheaper and be like, yeah, let's go for them. But you don't understand, these people are cutting many corners and therefore your coating isn't working. These are the same people that don't provide any guarantees, any warranties, and when you call them back, they don't answer. Now, once Terry has fully cleaned these wheel arches, you're going to see, can you see all that grime and dirt and purple liquid? That's all the contaminants coming off. Terry's going to give the wheels a quick rinse to make sure he gets all the dirt and debris right off the wheel so it doesn't dry on the wheel. He's going to make sure to get every piece of the wheel, all the dirt everywhere just out, right? We don't want any car shampoo, any dirt left on the wheel. So he's going to take his time to rinse everything off, and this process will repeat with every single wheel. Every single wheel, because every single wheel is getting coated and every single wheel needs to be going through this process. After that, Terry gets the whole car foamed up, making sure to get every panel of the car. Now, one thing that's very important is that these jobs do take a lot of time, because we got to make sure every panel is fully decontaminated and cleaned before coating goes on. That's why prep takes so long, right? This is why these jobs take us roughly about 6 to 8 hours, depending on what the job needs. If it needs paint correction, you're thinking even longer. So Terry makes sure that the whole car's foamed up, then we let the foam sit on the car for at least about a minute. The reason we do this is it kind of drags all the dirt down onto the surface. So when we do go in with our contact wash, we're not getting any dirt or any type of little rocks on the car that are being scraped on the paint, right? You can see all that foam dragging everything down. And then we get our wash mitts, we take them out of our bucket where it's been soaking there for about 20-30 minutes, and then we're going to come put it on the top of the car, and then we get straight into rinsing them with some foam. The reason we do this, just want to make sure they're nice and lubricated, so when we're applying it to the panels and applying pressure, we're not scratching at the car, right? You can see me, flipping the wash mitt every panel or so to make sure every panel is getting a clean wash mitt. And yeah, here's me doing it all over the car. Then Terry gets straight into rinsing the car, making sure all the dirt or the car shampoo has been taken off. And I want to let you guys know, we are accredited and certified installers. We didn't learn off YouTube, we actually done a course, we're certified, and we did that to make sure we do a good job. Many people out there might learn off YouTube and use your car as practice. We won't be doing that. It's like thinking about it like in this work. Let's say you're trying to book an electrician. Let's say the electrician is certified and learn off YouTube. You don't want to be booking that guy in, right? You want to make sure he's certified. This is the very same scenario with ceramic coatings. You want to make sure whoever's working in your car is certified and doing a good job. We want to make sure we do this, so down the track, after 3 to 4 years, once your coating has been in the car, it actually does its job. So after that, we get into something called the iron decon. We spray it all over the panels. And yeah, this is Terry spraying all the panels. And one thing he's making sure is that, and as you can see, all the panels are wet. The reason for this is we want some sort of dilution. We don't want to use straight iron. So the panels are mostly wet, and that makes sure that the iron particles are actually being taken off and it isn't stripping anything else, right? So you can see Terry spraying it all over the car, and shortly you're going to see this effect, right? You're going to see the same thing, that purple liquid. See that? That means it's doing its job. We're using high quality products, so it's actually stripping all the contaminants off the car. Then we get into rinsing it, and you're going to see this cool effect. You see all that purple liquid coming off? And that's everything that was on the paint. We can't see this. That's the magic of these chemicals. It strips it all out. All these things are invisible. Then we get into something called a clay bar. This clay bar is a little piece of clay that helps us get those micro contaminants that are stuck on the paint out. You see all those little small black dots? Those weren't washed off with the normal wash process. This is where the clay bar comes in. Luckily with this, it's a white car, you can actually see it. But we then go all over the car, we make sure it's really lubricated, so we hit it with the soapy water, and then we're slowly but gently hitting it all over the panels. Every few panels, every few areas, I make sure to reset the clay. It makes sure hitting it like, Play-Doh, you kind of squish it together and it resets. Here you can see the before and after. One side has a lot of black little contaminants, and the left side, it's gone, right? That's the magic of clay bar. Very important yet again, people. Don't do this. The coating will not work. I cannot stress to you guys enough. I also do it on the headlights. Why? Because we also coat the headlights of the car, right? Within our special packages, we do this. What this helps with? Cleaning, and the next thing, making sure they don't go dull in the coming years. Okay. The next process is getting a little brush, a very gentle one, and then cleaning all the cracks and crevices. We've got a contamination. That's what I was talking about. Crazy what the farm does, right? Anyways, we got started into cleaning the cracks and crevices. We spray it with soapy water, using my brush, gently going in left and right motions to make sure they're nice and clean. Yet again, I want to make sure there's nothing falling on the coating when we apply the coating. So one thing I do want to talk about is mobile jobs. Yes, mobile jobs are possible, but it depends hugely on your environment, right? If you've got a nice backyard where you can wash the car, then go inside a garage and do the coating process in a controlled environment, it is possible. Luckily, this customer had a really nice backyard and a spacious garage where we were able to do the work. However, if you do not have that, it's totally okay. We also have a studio that we rent out where you can do the job. And if needed, we can also pick up the car and drop it off. We're just here to help you guys as much as we can. Here's me drying the car, right? After it's nice and soaked and cleaned, I'm going to give it a quick dry. Here's me getting the blow dryer, right? This is like a pet dryer we bought. And this helps us to get rid of all the water that's stuck in the cracks and crevices. Because what happens is if water falls down while applying the coating, it's going to leave these marks. We do not want that. So we spend about an hour actually drying the whole car properly, right? We get every crack and crevices because let me tell you guys, the amount of water that gets trapped in your door jambs, within the mirrors, within the logos, it's ridiculous. So we spend a very thorough time making sure it's dry. Because if the coating gets in contact with water, yeah, it's going to leave these nasty marks that you don't want in your car. So we take our time and due diligence to make sure that the car is fully dry. So here's the car, nice and clean. As you can see, we've got it fully prepped, and now we get started on the coating. To be more specific, the interior coating, the first thing Terry does when doing his interior coating is he makes sure to clean the seats. He hits it with something called an IPA, which is an alcohol spray. What that does, it takes away all kind of oils or any contaminants within the surface and makes sure they're nice and clean. So he does a rigorous clean of them, making sure he gets every crack and crevice within the seat. And as you can see, he's just cleaning all over. Now Terry's going to prep his pack with the leather interior coating, and he's going to start applying it to the surface. So he's going to make sure he gets an even distribution all over the actual seats. And one key thing he's going to do is he gets all the seats coated, right? A lot of people will be doing interior seat coating, but they don't specify exactly what they coat. We clearly say that with our packages, if we are doing the seats as a special bonus, all the seats are being covered. The headrest, the back of the seats, the side of the seats, everything. The reason for this is we want to provide a very good product, and we want to keep our reputation really good. So we make sure to give you guys as much value and do a proper job, right? What's the point of protection if the whole seat isn't being protected? So here's Terry making sure, yet again, he does an even distribution throughout, making sure to get every little piece nice and covered. Then he comes in with the first rag. What this mainly does is gets a lot of the excess product off, because we want to make sure that the seats keep the same finish. Sometimes people apply interior coating and leaves like a matte finish or a glossy finish. With the ones we use, it makes sure to keep the finish just as it was when you bought it. So Terry's doing a nice clean, and once he does the first clean with the first rag, he will then come in with the second rag. The reason for this is there might be some excess that we can't see, and the rag might be full of like coating. So we want to get another rag and make sure he gets anything that we might have missed. So here's him doing that right now. And here's him now doing the kind of the back of the seats, the side of the seats. And one thing people do have, like, how much does the coating actually cost? Well, to be very honest, there are people who might do it for like $600-500, but those people, yet again, are cutting corners, are not giving you guys a quality job or a coating that works. A coating job should range from between $900 to $2,200, depending on the condition of the car, the type of coating you're getting, how long the coating is going to be, and other variables, right? So this should give you guys a good estimate of how much your coating should roughly cost. So here's Terry yet again, making sure he gets every single part. We also do the armrest, because a lot of people, you put their arms there, you know, your arms either full of oil, body, whatever it is, it's going to contaminate it. One thing we did notice is that the windows, they had a lot of bird etching, like bird poo etching on it, or maybe bugs. I think it was bugs. Yes, it was bugs. Correct me if I'm wrong. So one thing I needed to make sure is that I hit it with a quick polish. The reason for that was just to get that taken care of, right? I didn't want that to be there when we were actually applying the coating, so I got my polisher and I hit it with it, right? You can see me getting it all off and taking my time. And another thing I do want to guys, let you guys know about is that if you have had that experience of someone's come coated your car, is done a bad job, is left something called high spots, or your coating doesn't look good at all, it's not performing, don't stress, that is able to be rectified. The only thing is that it's going to cost more. We're going to have to do more work. The reason for that is the coating then needs to be stripped off. So for that, we need to do something called a paint correction. So we need to strip the old coating off, and we need to go through this whole process again. So that's why I tell people, you might as well get it done properly in the first place, as it's going to cost more money down the track. It's going to cost you 2 to 3 times more, because we're going to have to paint correct the whole car, get rid of the whole coating. But don't stress, I'm going to let you guys know it can be rectified, but yet again, it does cost more. It's just what it takes to do a good job, right? So once I finish polishing all those bugs that were on the mirrors, I then get started on the IPA stage. So here you can see me getting my 360 GSM Korean microfiber. Very soft microfiber, doesn't leave any scratches on the paint. And I make sure to, first of all, once I somehow figure out how to open this bottle, I spray on the microfiber and I also spray on the panel, right? This step is really important because the chemicals that we've used in the car, that we want to get rid of, right? And there's this weird effect. Before, the paint is very smooth, and as soon as we apply this and hit it all over the car, it becomes very grippy. Now that's a clear indication that we stripped away all these oils, right? Now here's a sped up video of me IPAing the whole panels, making sure to get every little piece of the panel. Now you can see I go back and forth motions, flipping my microfiber pad and my microfiber towel very oftenly. It's very important to IPA, or the coating won't stick. Yet again, the prep process is very important. So I also make sure to do this kind of on the windows as well. I get them nice and cleaned, IPA'd, as we are going to be applying something called window coating as well. Just a little kind of interesting fact about us, we're also insured. The reason for this is that we do have prevention plans to stop mistakes from occurring. But let's say, we're moving your car, or we're picking or dropping off the car. We just want to make sure you guys have a peace of mind. If something does happen, you're taken care of, right? So here's our Genesis bottle. We use Prism Genesis. We make sure to prep our microfiber pads as well. So the first clip, you're going to see Terry hitting some droplets onto the pad, right? We can get a nice, easy distribution. And then Terry's going to get straight into putting this on the panel, right? He's us quickly showing it. We've got our microfiber pads ready, our flashlight ready. He's having a quick feel of the panel to make sure where it's not been coated and not been coated. And as you can see, he's doing the distribution throughout. Now with the coating, the biggest thing you want to make sure is we wipe it off properly. there's a curing stage to make sure it actually properly cures. Now this very much depends on the humidity. So we make sure to give it at least a minimum of 30 seconds, but for us, we also do that, but we just kind of look at the coating. We try to wait for this effect called flashing, and once flashing occurs, it means the coating is cured, and then we have to go wipe it off. You have to wipe off the coating properly, because if you don't, you're going to leave marks, more specifically called high spots. So Terry's always got his torch, since we are doing a mobile job. It does take us longer because we've got a small light, and we have the, we don't have this ultimate lighting around us, but for your convenience, we just have to do the job way slower. With each panel, as soon as we're wiping it off, we've got a torch there. We're making sure to look at every little area to make sure we're wiping it off properly. We use 2 rags, right? The reason for that is one rag kind of gets the coating off and one just buffs it. So basically, it's like I would say, it's a peace of mind to make sure there's no coating that's actually left on the panel. So once Terry's obviously kind of, wiped off the whole panel, he then gets into the process of them really inspecting it, which you're going to see very shortly. Now here's Terry using the light to inspect the panel that he just did. We use handheld torches because we do have to work in smaller panels when doing a mobile job to make sure we see everything. But there we go, that's the flashing we see. Once we see that, we know the coating has cured. Now here's me also kind of doing the exterior plastics of the car to make sure they get coated. The benefit of this is really good. It makes sure they're very easy to clean and they keep their color right. Once you give them the sun, they're slowly going to fade away. So this kind of coating the plastics helps them maintain the color down the track. So your car keeps its pop throughout the years. So I'm coating everything, and yeah, that's kind of us coating all the exterior plastics. And then after that, here's me kind of doing a side panel to demonstrate what we do. As you can see, I'm getting all areas nice and coated with my microfiber pad. And as I'm doing that, I'm slowly watching it, right? I get my light, I'm inspecting it, I'm running my finger on it to see if it's dry or if it's kind of like smooth and kind of watery still. And yeah, here's just me waiting, inspecting it, and then boom, I get straight into wiping it off. As you can see, I'm using small circular motions to make sure I'm grabbing all the coating, and eventually I'm going to flip my microfiber pad and then hit it again. Yep, just making sure I'm getting everything off, right? Just kind of inspecting, having a little quick chat with Cesar. As you can see, inspecting the paint with a small torch, right? Working in smaller panels. And I forgot what me and Terry were talking about, but I guess we're talking about the paint and the overall condition. And then here's us doing the window coating. Now the window coating cures very quick since it's a spray-on coating. So for this, as soon as it sprays on and as soon as it sits, we straight away wipe it off because it cures very quick. As soon as it gets in contact with oxygen, it's starting to crystallize. So we need to wipe it off to make sure we're not leaving any high spots on the windows. So here's me then going and getting another microfiber pad, because for this one we're going to be doing the wheel coating. So I apply the wheel coating, and then right off that I get straight to the wheels, and it depends on how many kind of arches or the complexity of the wheel is. So for this one I was able to work in kind of quarters or halves. So once I do that, I let it cure, I let it sit for a little bit, and then I go get my yellow microfiber pad. And with this one, it basically helps us get rid of all that coating that's been there. And the reason for that is, yet again, we got to make sure we wipe off that coating properly to not to leave any high spots or any coating that gets left over, right? So yeah, this is the car after. So once we got it fully coated, and as you can see, it was popping, man. Here's Terry getting some photos, and overall, what a job, man. And since this is a car that's going to be used on the farm, maintaining it, parking in the trees is no longer going to be a big headache. The car's always going to look good. A white car, you want to make sure it keeps staying looking white. And yeah, I appreciate you guys giving this video a watch. Yet again, hopefully this guys helps you understand the difference between a very good job and a bad job, right? We want to get good jobs done because we want the coating to actually work. So thanks again.